Howard Shy wait, come to take the throne. To conquer world powers, bring Jacob home. I'm quarterbacking like Jake DeLone, like Mount Rushmore. I got a face of stone.
Matter of fact, go ahead, Gorilla. Let Gorilla go in.
Y'all people is so I can't even believe how grown ass men is, bro. This is getting crazy, man. Just real quick, this is how easy it is. Who are the Egyptians? I can share my screen, Bob Shah. This is the easy work. This is light work. The Neolithic people. What does Neolithic mean? Pertaining to the Nile. You know, the river that runs down the middle of it. They're still there in the Nile. They just been pushed further south into Sudan or Nubia. That's them right on the walls, and that's their modern depiction, looking exactly like they looked in ancient Egypt. This is not hard information to discover. Look at it. There's a wealth. There's an abundance of it. Look. The Neolithic people, the people who live in the Nile, not people who left and came over here. Now, here's the interesting thing. Hassan, give me Hosea 7.
My bad, I was on mute. I got you. All right.
Jeremiah had my phone.
Now, what he just said wasn't like Officer Rob just said. It actually points to them being Israelites because the creation story resembles Genesis. And yes, there were certain Egyptian aspects of the Mayan culture. You're correct. And here's why. Read.
Hosea chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned.
No,
you just what you're talking. It's verse 11.
Yeah.
Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They called to Egypt.
They did what?
They called to Egypt.
They called to Egypt. When you study historically, the Northern Kingdom, and right after the Northern Kingdom did it, the Southern Kingdom did it. The Northern Kingdom was trying to get in bed and make a league with Egypt to protect them against the Assyrians. They called to Egypt. Then when you go back, they mixed themselves among the people. Mixed themselves is not just dealing with intermingling with them physically. It also deals with picking up their culture, doing a cultural synthesis with them, worshiping some of their deities. This is all what the Northern Kingdom is said to do in the Bible. All of y'all, this is why every time, that's why I don't even deal with Negro onlys. All I do is say, go watch Vivi Asherala and debunk it. As soon as you can do that, then I'll talk to you. They can't do it. All of this stuff over a year ago, we already went through. It went through and documented very easy.
Okay, so
we document all this very methodically, and nobody has addressed it. Not one of y'all. But we got to keep having y'all get on here and talk this same bullshit day in and day out. Give it the hell up, bro. What's that prophecy he's referencing?
He's back on here. I'm gonna bring him on. Ezekiel 29. Yehudim, I wasn't gonna deal with you, but now you got to deal with Alazar.
Yeah, that's a bet. Ezekiel 32:9 says that the Egyptians.
Hold on. First, you got to answer the archaeology I just pulled up. Can you answer that?
Yeah, what's that?
I mean, if you've been watching, you saw it. Who are the Neolithic people?
They are a Hamitic race that are damn sure not the Egyptians.
Okay, so why do they match the pictures of the Egyptians on the walls of Egypt?
The Egyptians wore wigs, so those Berber tribes you're talking about, I'm pretty sure that you're talking about the Beja
I wasn't talking about Berber tribes. I didn't put up a Berber tribe. Nice try. So I know you ain't paying attention.
You're talking about the Beja people, the Berbers.
I said the archaeology that I just pulled up, and he went to answer it like he saw it, and then went and attacked something that I didn't even say. That's because how full of shit you are. And I gotta have an intellectual, honest dialogue with a nigga that's this full of shit. Are you being serious right now?
The Beja tribe are not the Egyptians.
I ain't talking about Beja tribe.
So
I ain't mentioning Beja people.
So who are they then? So who are they?
Did I say Beja?
They are Beja tribes that you're trying to tell me about.
I did not ever.
So then who are they? So who are they then?
I didn't ever tell you about the Beja tribe. There's a group of people I asked you about just a second ago. What was the word I used?
Didn't you say the Neo-Nile?
Neo-Nile? What's the word I used?
Neo-Niolithic?
No, Nihilistic, not neo, not new people of the Nile, the original people of the Nile that still live in the Nile. Nihilistic, not neo-Nihilistic.
And you're saying they're the Egyptians. I'm saying that's false because Ezekiel 32:9 says they'll be in the land they never knew.
Listen. We're going to deal with Ezekiel in 1 second.
That's fine.
That's fine. Share my screen again. Thank you very much. Wait a minute. Who are these niggas? Oh, looking exactly like the people that are the Egyptians on the wall.
Looks can be deceiving,
and they live just south of Egypt in Sudan, still in the Nile.
And that's how I know they're not the Egyptians. According to Ezekiel's prophecy, they would be in the land they never knew. And if you claim the Egyptians didn't know Sudan, you don't know history.
Look, first off, brother, number one, did the Israelites know Babylon?
Did the Israelites know Babylon after they were taken there? Yes.
No, but before that, did the Israelites know Babylon?
I didn't believe so.
Where's Abraham, our forefather, from?
Why are you asking remedial questions?
I'm not asking no remedial questions. It's simple. You're going to either answer my questions or you get your dumb ass booted again. So again, where is our ancestral forefather, Abraham? Where is he from?
From our land, our ancestral lands.
No. Where was Abraham born?
You tell me, Egypt.
Get him out of there, please. Thank you. Again, the stupidity I'm not dealing with, man. Silly ass niggas, click this link. Have your shit together before you get on here. Thank you. Just for future reference, because this is really starting to get irritating, that stupidity. I asked you where Abraham was born. Ur of the Chaldees. The land of the Chaldeans is where? Babylon, right? So not knowing a land in that context is not talking about, oh, no one ever went there before. No one ever knew that land before. It's not their land. They never ruled it. They never cultivated it, etc. That doesn't mean they have zero familiarity with it, number one. Right? There was a rival tribe to the south of Egypt called the Nubians, and that's who lived there. Then they all got pushed down. Right? It's not hard. You guys are really late to the party. So again, he said Ezekiel 29, correct? Or 32.
He's talking about Ezekiel 29 all the way to 32. The 40 years that Egyptians
okay, the 40 years, and so what is? Give me the end of that. Okay,
it doesn't
even matter. Watch this. Ezekiel 29 and 13 to 14. This is exactly why I wanted him to just read that, and his whole theory is debunked. Read it.
I got you. So look, Ezekiel chapter 29, verse 13. It says, "Yet thus saith the Lord God, at the end of 40 years."
So the Egyptians would be sent to a land that they didn't know, guys, and then and it would only happen for 40 years. And after that 40 years, what would happen?
At the end of 40 years will I gather the Egyptians from the people whither they were scattered.
The place where the Egyptians were going to, they shall be gathered from. Read.
Verse 14. And I will bring again the captivity of Egypt.
What does that mean, bring again? Look at the other translation, Deacon, please, so they understand what bring again the captivity means. NIV, what does it say?
I will bring them back from captivity.
I will bring them back from captivity. If you're being brought back from captivity, they were left out of their land. It means they're being brought back to their land 40 years later. Keep reading.
And return them to Upper Egypt.
To Upper Egypt, not lower, because they got pushed south of Egypt. Then they came back into their land. This is what happens when you don't know how to read. But again, it's a lot for my energy. It's just coming to a point. Yo, we've been doing this a long time, and niggas are stupid, man. Really dumb, and it's frustrating because none of this stuff is that hard. Literally, it's that easy to find the Neolithic people who look exactly, and he said that's false, and you're looking at it. Look at these people, and look at the wall of Egypt, and look at this guy, and look at the wall of Egypt, right? That's those people, right? But watch this. And like I said, that captivity that they were going into was going to be just a 40-year captivity. Right? 40 years, that was it. Not to the other side of the world to be returned in the latter days by a messianic figure. No, 40 years, and then y'all niggas is coming back into Upper Egypt. Right? Keep reading.
verse 15. It says, it shall be the basis of the kingdoms.
See that? It shall be base. This is why those Neolithic people live so primitively now, as you see when you look at them, because the Lord, even though Egypt in antiquity was one of the most exalted kingdoms ever, so exalted that we constantly ran to them, the Most High abased them. Now you see how they live simplistically. They're not building the megalithic structures like pyramids anymore and living lavishly like they once did because of this prophecy. See, he doesn't understand prophecy. Read.
It says, it shall be the basis of the kingdoms, neither shall it exalt itself any more above the nations.
Exactly. Egypt was looked at as a principal nation. This is why Egyptomania came later on, and people love Egypt so much. But Egypt never rose again. Why? Because Yahweh said so. Go ahead.
For I will diminish them, that they shall no more rule over the shall no more rule over the nations.
That's right. They shall no more rule over the nations. Right. Keep going.
Verse 16. And it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel.
The reason why God humbled and brought these people so low is so we could stop trusting them. And what's crazy is in the 1970s, the Dr. Benz of the world somehow made us trust in this place again thousands of years after it fell. Go ahead.
It says, which bring their iniquity to remembrance, when they shall look after them, but they shall know that I am the Lord God.
That's right. We're supposed to know because those people are sitting in the now, living in huts, that was never the way to go. See what I'm saying? We should have never followed them. And the true thing we should only follow is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High Yahweh. It's that simple. So all this stuff that these niggas just came with, it's the verse, a quick Google in the same chapter that he quoted debunks his entire ideology. But so he's over here playing games. Go ahead, Officer Rob.
This is the thing, right? Because I brought up that same point, and I didn't even go further because he couldn't identify the 40 years. But what's crazy is he jumped to chapter 32. In verse 1, it says, and it came to pass in the 12th year in the 12th month. He used that to say that was the 12th year of the 40 years. I said, bro, that's when the Lord appeared. That's the time the Lord appeared through an angel to Ezekiel. Had nothing to do with the 40 years.
Okay, the kingdom of Yahweh. Some brother told you to hit the link. I'm not sure why they told you to hit the link. What's going on?
Yeah, shalom. Yeah, because I was correcting Al-Azhar, innit? Because Al-Azhar was saying Nilotic people or something like that, but it's not Nilotic people, innit? So another thing as well.
Who is it, like, brother?
What's that?
If it's not the Nilotic people, who is it, brother?
It's Nilotic people, but that doesn't really matter, yeah.
Are you saying I said the word wrong?
Yeah, because I was typing it on the chat.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. And then another thing as well, like not all of them are living as the basis people. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of them scattered throughout the eastern part of Africa. So, for example, the Luo people, they're scattered in Kenya, in Tanzania, in other part of Eastern Africa, innit? They don't all live the same way. The same thing as well as it.
You're correct. You're correct because it's a blanket term. All those people are not necessarily the ancient Egyptian people, right? But when I say the Nilotic, the people who I was showing, those primitive tribes that predominantly live in Sudan in that region, that's who I'm saying are the ancient Egyptians, not all of those people all the way down there.
Yeah. But a lot of the people in Sudan as well, they're not necessarily ancient Egyptian, innit? They're still Nubians, because a lot of ancient Egyptians were cast away. Some of them are scattered in West Africa. Some of them are scattered in the top Central Africa and Eastern Africa as well. You know, so they merged within the Bantus, like the Tutsi people in Rwanda. They are Nilotic people, but they have accustomed the Bantu customs and the language as well. So they sound like Bantus, and so some of the cultures are similar to the Bantus, but they're not Bantus. Do you understand?
Because Bantu is a language, and it stems from an original language that was familiar to everybody. So that speaking that language is not necessarily denote all that much, simply because of how widespread that language was. It said in the scriptures that 5 cities of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. Bantu is the language of Canaan, right?
Bantu is not the language of Canaan, bro.
It is. Bantu is the language of Canaan.
Bantu is ancient Hebrew.
And Hebrew is the language of what region?
Hebrew is a language of no.
Canaan. We're from Canaan.
No,
brother.
not necessarily.
Where is Israel?
The location, listen,
it's
yeah?
where? It's Canaan, brother.
Listen.
It's
okay,
Canaan.
listen.
Listen. The language is Canaan. The Canaanites and the Israelites spoke the same language.
The language is not Canaan. Can I explain why I'm saying that?
Go ahead.
Okay.
If you're straining out, if your explanation is you straining out a gnat, brother, we're gonna get you off of here. So go ahead. I hope it's
what I'm saying. What I'm saying, yeah. The Hebrew that we speak here, the Bantu language, is a very, very ancient language, right? Just because we live in the land of Canaan, the writings of the Canaanites is not necessarily the language of the Canaanites, right? The Canaanites use that language using that set of writings, but we use our language using the same writing. It's not the same.
Substantiate is not the same.
It's like us using English, right? And then other people writing in French, but they use the same Greek alphabet. So that's the Canaanite alphabet that we were using.
Okay, so what is the name of the chief deity of Canaan?
It depends on which historians that you're looking for.
There's only one chief deity of Canaan. Only one. Who is
to my knowledge?
You said what?
To my knowledge, yeah, I could be mistaken. It's a deity called El or something like that.
Baal.
Oh, Baal. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Baal means what? Baal means what in Hebrew?
Owner, a husband,
Lord. Right?
Or Lord. Yeah, but there's those are different meanings to that word.
We clearly see that word, they're using that word the same way we use that word.
Yeah, true.
So how do we speak a different language?
There are similarities, right? I'm not going against that. There are similarities, but we can't go to straight conclusions saying that we speak the same language. We're not the same people.
Listen. We've got different. We spoke the same language. I'm gonna tell you that now.
It can't be proven.
It can't. No, you can't prove that we didn't speak the same language because all we have is the written record, and the written record is identical.
The written record is identical. It doesn't mean it's the same language.
Okay. So you saying it's not the same language is based upon speculation of how you feel people vocalized it without any proof, correct?
It's not speculations. It's conclusions based upon observations. The Bantus, all right? The Bantus.
The people who predominantly speak Bantu are predominantly a Canaanite people. They're predominantly
prove that. That's false.
Not Hebrew Israelite. Get him off of here. Thank you.
That is false. That is false.
There's nothing false about
that
it.
Is false. Most people that speak Bantu are Israelites. They have the customs of the Israelites.
They're not ethnically.
They have the custom of the Israelites.
They're not Israelites. They are not even ethnically. They're not an ethnic group. It is a language. That's what it is. And we spoke a language, and the Canaanites spoke a language, and it's the same language. If you say, well, there were differences, there were some okay, there were some differences in the way Ephraimites spoke and the way Judites spoke. We can see that in the book of Judges.
Bring it out.
Galileans and
Galileans spoke a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So doing that again, that's why I said if your answer is straining at gnats, brother, we're gonna have to get you, and that's what you did. Those people who you guys are blanketing as Bantu, who are not an ethnic group for the millionth time, are predominantly not Israelites. Is that so? Get him out of here. Why is he doing here? Shalom. Shalom. I can't even believe it. Niggas is still putting a cape on for Bantus. Meanwhile, we're Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are getting oppressed right now. Right here. We are. And we're still caping for the Bantu.
Salakia. On Isaiah 19 and 18 says, speak the language of Canaan, the Hebrew language, which continued from the time, the confusion and the posterity of Shem in the family of Eber, from whom Abraham descended, which was not the language of the old Canaanites, though that was pretty near it.
So it was what?
It says, which was not the language of the old Canaanites.
Though it was pretty near it. The Spanish in Mexico and the Spanish in Puerto Rico versus the Spanish in Spain and the Spanish in Dominican Republic are different Spanishes. The English in America and the English in Canada and the English in Britain, like the brother would just, you see what I'm saying? But they're at the root of it, it's the same language.
That's it.
It's no strong tower. Shalom, brother. All praise y'all about you. This stuff ain't hard, y'all. This stuff.
That wasn't even nothing to contend about, though. Really, I don't know what it's like.
Apparently, I was saying the Neolithic people. I was pronouncing that word wrong. Apologies. I allowed him to correct me on that. I appreciate it, brother. But now when you go on this diatribe about all the Neolithic people are not living primitively and okay because all of them are not ancient Egyptians. But then even this concept, well, some of them are Nubians. Nubians come from Mount Azarium, the same way Philistines come from Mount Azarium, right? So even if they weren't building the country of Egypt, the country directly south of Egypt still come from that son of Ham.
Exactly.
Right?
We might as well. Listen, brother, you still want to talk about 2 Ezra 13?
Khan.
Okay, now let me ask you this one question. Where's Arsarid at?
I'm not too sure where it's at, but I can show you it's not America.
Brother, here's the thing. Now it's like you want to basically put us on the hot seat. It's not a back. It's not. This isn't a mutual thing because you don't have an antithesis for us to scrutinize.
Can we not deal with the passage and talk about what it's actually saying?
Brother, if you don't know, if you don't have anything to scrutinize, then you can't come on here and talk to us. This is not a place where you can just say, it ain't what y'all said, but I don't know what it is. You can't do that.
Have a good night, brother.
SICARRII.
We are the children of the one Yahweh.
The chosen.
Ye are the chosen.